It's not very unusual for the leader of the opposition and the MP for Castries Central to engage in heated exchanges. However, this is where the Speaker of the House must intervene. The St. Lucian Parliament witnessed yet another clash between opposition leader Allen Chastanet and the Speaker of the House, Claudius Francis, during last week Tuesday's sitting of Parliament. In a move that escalated tensions, Chastanet's microphone was turned off after he refused to adhere to the Speaker's directives. According to Chastanet, this was just another attempt by the Speaker to suppress his voice. Chastanet noted that during the heated tensions, several racial remarks were made and has since introduced the issue of racism in the parliamentary setting.
On more than one occasion in the House sitting yesterday, racial remarks were made. One was very blatant about the pigmentation of people's skin. But we've come accustomed to this with Richard Frederick. That's the only game that he knows, is to try to demean, ridicule people, create hatred and racism in this country.
According to Chastanet, the silence of other parliamentarians in the face of these remarks makes them complicit in what he perceives as a racial bias. He went on to declare that it would not be an exaggeration to suggest that Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre himself harbors racist sentiments.
And while the mic was off, this is what I was saying in part to the parliamentarians that were there. That when they sit there on their hands and take mumu tablets and don't respond to that and don't stand up to it, then they own it. So I think it's not an exaggeration for me to say that I think that the Prime Minister is racist. And I think many of the other people in the House have become racist, whether it's their hatred towards Allen Chastanet or their fear of losing the next election, whatever it is. And they've chosen that going down the racial lines like they did in the last election is their salvation. But I think that many more St. Lucians have woken up to what the playbook of the Labour Party is, and in particular, Richard Frederick.
Following the incident, the government has yet to formally respond to these allegations. As tensions continue to escalate in Parliament, questions are being raised as to whether Chastanet's concerns regarding free speech and racial discrimination warrant further investigation. Chastanet himself is doubling down on his assertions about the Orange Grove Plaza, further chiding the House Speaker.
When somebody wants to sit at the seat and to try to assume responsibilities and authorities that he doesn't have, then he found himself in great difficulty. But it's not going to be at my expense. It's not going to be at the expense of the United Workers' Party. And it's certainly not going to be at the expense of what is true.
For Choice News Now, I am Kishana Smith.